This is INCRadio, DCEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ or Iglesia ni Cristo.
Welcome to INC Radio Oregon, where our brethren from different parts of Oregon, Washington, California, Idaho, Montana, and Wyoming greet you. Come get to know all of our brethren from the Ecclesiastical District of Oregon and explore our activities, experiences, and sceneries. This is Oregon.
Hello to our viewers and listeners. Thank you for joining our INC Radio Oregon. I'm Sister Geraldine Langit and from the local congregation of Oregon City, and I will be your host for today. So our topic in our show today is Run to Finish the Race. And today we will be conversing with Sister Thea about the marathon she ran, and let's find out how she prepared for it and share her experiences. But before I continue, I would like to introduce our lovely guest, our Sister Thea. Could you please introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone. I'm Sister Thea. Thank you for having me, Sister Geraldine. I'm one of the choir members from the locale of Portland, and I'm excited to talk about this topic that's so dear to me.
All right. Thank you so much for being here with us in our show, Sister Thea. So, for those who don't know, a marathon is a long distance foot race that lasts just over 26 miles. And many run the marathon for various reasons. And here are some of them. So, marathon can lead to perseverance, dedication, mental strength training, and also it can boost one's self-esteem because of the realization that one is stronger than they think. And here are some of the few benefits that of a marathon. One is it strengthens your heart. It improves the health of your bones and joints and teaches you to set goals, and it also boosts your mood, as well as it's also good for the brain and improves sleep quality. So there's a lot of these are just some of the benefits of marathon, and there's a lot more to them, and we'll learn more from our Sister Thea. So let's go to our question and answer, Sister Thea. And so, what made you decide to run the marathon, and how many marathons have you done so far?
So this was my very first full marathon. The prior runs or races that I've had, I've only done one half marathon last year. And prior to that, no other kind of running or races, maybe a short 5K run 10 years ago, but I was never sporty or athletic to that extent. But so this was a huge goal of mine to be able to run this marathon, and I decided to pursue it because it's, like I said, it's been one of my bucket lists, as you can say, ever since I was young. And I remember applying for a race in Vancouver, in my own hometown in Canada. And that same year, I got into a car accident, like a minor car accident. And I didn't realize just how fragile your body is until you get into like a disability type of mode where you realize, oh, I have pains here. I can walk, but I'm not able to feel comfortable in standing for so long or doing the regular things, and made me feel like it's really important to take care of your health. And another reason why I decided to also take care of myself and pursue this dream is uh, when I became married and had a baby and also had a care home, my energy um, was used in taking care of others, and it made me neglect taking care of myself. And when you're taking care of others and um, you don't have a lot to give because your cup is, I would say, it's getting smaller and smaller from giving to others. You need to take care of yourself. So that was one of my reasons to be able to provide more for my family, to be there more mindfully and more wholeheartedly. And so it's about self care and yeah, self care, taking care of myself. That's me. That was the most important thing.
That's very inspiring, sister. For me, I'm also about starting to get into running.
Mm-hmm.
I've been running couple days a week since I'd say like last month.
Mm-hmm.
And like what the benefits said, or like one of the reasons is it allows you, kind of like what you said as well, it allows you to set a goal for yourself and also for yourself to feel better, like what you said, because you've been taking care of your family, like other people. And I guess I'd say like having this kind of goal, like running a marathon or just running, just doing like some physical activity, is one thing that would make yourself feel a lot better, not only for yourself but also for other people.
Exactly. You feel more present. You feel more alive um, in for yourself and for others. Exactly.
All right, yes. So Sister Thea, could you tell me, as someone who wants to join a marathon in the future,
Yes.
how did you prepare for this, and are there learning lessons gained during your preparation?
I would say don't force yourself to run the marathon right away. You need to definitely plan. Planning is important to prevent injury, um, and also to be able to give yourself the confidence to go through the intimidating miles that you're going through, because you're not just a quick short runner, but you're a distance runner. So it requires a different type of mentality and grit. And the only way to be able to feel more confident is if you pursue your plan, accordingly. Even if you may fail along the way, it's important to know that sometimes you just need to say, okay, I've done this and I haven't done this miles. I wasn't able to run here. But that shouldn't stop you from continuing to do your training. I would say how I prepared myself. I prepared myself for 5 to 6 months. Um, when I did my marathon, I did 3 months, and I also, it wasn't just running. You also need to, more importantly, strength train. So go to the gym. And that was important for me to prevent injuries. If you're constantly running, you're using the same muscles, and you want to be able to focus on the other sets of your muscles, like your whole body, so that you can prevent yourself from making any permanent injuries.
So you mentioned that that you said like, oh, I haven't run this distance before.
Yes.
So before the marathon itself, did you have an idea of where it will be, or like what the place will be, and did you go there to like kind of like have a practice? Did you run there just for like your training, or was it just like anywhere that you could run?
So I had an idea of the path of where I was going to go. Um, but as a runner, especially as a woman, it's hard to train by yourself or to run by yourself. So, and to run safely, because you don't know, sometimes there are places that are unsafe. And you want to be able to not just look at the course, but to know that you need to build your stamina and your endurance. So um, I I read that you need to run the distance, run faster. That's another training, or run through hills. And that's probably one of the biggest things that I was so surprised at, because I knew there were a lot of hills, but going through the marathon itself, I was so surprised how many hills there are in Portland, and I didn't realize it. And that's one of the obstacles that I encountered. So, going through the race, any race that you go to, whether it's a full marathon or a flat marathon, trails or road, um, you will always encounter different kinds of paths, and then take into factor also the weather. Um, your heart rate goes faster, or it works harder when there's heat, extra heat. Um, so it's really hard as well when when it's raining too. So you're not just thinking about you're running on a treadmill and it's safe, but when you're outdoors, you're also thinking about the weather. So there's a lot of uh, external factors you have to consider.
Yeah, Sister Thea, hearing your experiences about this marathon, and when you mentioned like about like running a lot of hills,
Yeah.
I in my head I know to myself I'm not ready yet,
Yeah.
because one time I ran outdoor and I thought I couldn't make it, but I did. But I know I still have a lot of preparation to do in order to get to a marathon.
Exactly.
So yeah, you mentioned a lot of obstacles that you faced, but you were able to overcome them. So what did that feel like when you reached the finish line during your marathon? And what would you tell others about running a marathon or a race?
When I think running the race itself, I was so focused on the journey, just getting through the miles one by one. I didn't want to focus on just finishing the race, um, just because if I focus on, oh, I have how many more miles left, it's such a hindrance in my mentality. It's easier to think I'm closer to 3 miles, I'm closer to 5 miles, I'm closer. Oh, I already did 5 miles, and it's easier to go into 7, 8. And then when you get to the half, you're like, oh, I'm basically halfway there. So it's a lot of positive um, self conversations with yourself when you're running. It's not just any sport where you're having fun with others. It's a lot of um, self it's a lot of grit and endurance in taking care of yourself, and uh, having mental doubts will only hinder you from finishing. So when I did finish, I was so proud of myself, because I know it wasn't easy. I knew that I felt like I could have done better, but the most important thing is, despite the obstacles that I have encountered, I did finish it. And I was just really happy, and seeing my family, seeing all the my friends, and the support that they gave, even some friends that I wasn't really close to before, they wanted to support me. I was so happy to see them. But the most inspiring thing that I saw after was seeing my son being so, like, his face just lit up, and it just made me so happy.
Oh, that's really inspiring. I want to be able to do that in the future because, like what I said, I'm not ready yet now. And it's nice that it's like you weren't alone in this marathon, because like even though you weren't focusing on the finish line, I know in the back of your mind, you know to yourself that, oh, after this, there's a lot of people who are there that are waiting for me, and I will be able to see their happy faces,
Yeah.
like your like Aiden, like your son. And so, I want to ask, so like in a marathon and or
Mhm.
anything else that we do, having a really strong support system is one of the reasons that we're able to accomplish something. So, could you tell us who were your support system and during this marathon, and how did they support you?
So my biggest supporter in this marathon would be, number one, my husband. We are 50-50 share in our parenting and our work at home as well. So having him being able to help me, take on that role while taking care of Aiden in those long hours was really hard for me to be far away from him, especially at the end when you're gone for so many hours just to get through your miles. So I was really thankful that he was so supportive when I had doubts, which is normal. I would call him up and he would be the one who would always give me encouraging words. Another, I actually had a lot of support. I had a lot of support, so I was so thankful and blessed with that. Um, I have we have a good friend because my husband couldn't run with me, to feel more safe as a woman who runs alone. In Portland, I uh, originally asked, "Do you want to run with me as a bodyguard?" And eventually, our friend Mike, who is also a member, he ended up being inspired to just also run the marathon as well, but he didn't plan to. He said, "Well, I'm already running with you, so I might as well finish the end as well." So that was so inspiring. And another person that comes to my mind is our brother Devin Castro. He's also a member of. He's also a member in Portland or Portland locale, and he is a physical trainer. He's never run himself in a marathon, but he has trained someone, and he went to school specifically for injury prevention. So most of the extra training that I did aside from running was seeing him so that I don't have any injuries, such as, helping me with my ankles or my hips, anything to do with making sure that when I do run, I don't have any injuries. That was really important for me.
That's really nice, Sister Thea. We're very happy. I'm very happy that to hear that, like in this marathon, even though it was like what 26 miles,
Mm-hmm.
it's not a short distance. That's very long. Like kind of like thinking about it when you're driving, I feel like that's from here to the Portland Chapel or something like that.
Well, here to Portland Chapel is only 6 miles, sister. It's not. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty far, but knowing that you were able to finish that is very inspiring, and we're
Mhm.
very, very proud of you.
Thank you.
And so for our last question, because we're running out of time,
Mm-hmm.
how would you connect your the training for the marathon and your preparation to your spiritual race, like as in your faith?
Mm-hmm. It really reminded me of my spiritual faith. Taking care of yourself mentally and physically is so important to be able to not only be there for yourself, but to be present for your family, but more so spiritually as well. That is the main purpose in this life. It isn't you have the physical and the mental gain um, in taking care of yourself, but our purpose is to take care of ourselves spiritually. So not only do you build endurance and resilience by being active inside the church, attending worship services, performing your duties, attending extra activities within the church. All of those are training. If you miss those, you're only going to weaken yourself. So the more you attend these spiritual calling or duties, the more you feel stronger without even realizing it. And when you do encounter different obstacles in life, maybe there's obstacles from work or from other people, you feel more resilient to say, I'm strong enough to overcome this. I can still perform my duties, and nothing is going to scare me. It's not intimidating. I can overcome it. And the support that I also get from others. Sometimes you do feel weak, um, which is normal sometimes, just because we're human. Uh, but we also call onto others, and they help us to stay inside the church, to be more strong. And that's how I see the support in taking care of yourself mentally and physically, and even more so spiritually.
Nice. I know I've been saying this for like the whole 30 minutes, Sister Thea, but that's very inspiring. Like hearing you talk about your experience, not only like kind of like outside of church with like the marathon, but most especially with your spiritual race. Because you know what they said, like also like taking care of our physical body is important, but what's more, like even more important, is taking care of our spiritual health.
Exactly.
And it's nice that you mentioned about how running a marathon connects to our spiritual race, because after like hearing your experiences, our training involves overcoming the different challenges in life. So that's how we are as like human beings, and we learn to persevere and endure, especially attending worship services. We get reminded from like from the Bible, and we pick up lessons and advice to keep our faith stronger. And we aim to be committed to continuing and are determined to reach the finish line, which is like the our salvation, to be able to reach our salvation. And thank you so much, Sister Thea, for having this like topic with us today in our show. And I know I'm not the only one that was inspired by your story with this. I know a lot of brethren
Mhm.
was also inspired hearing you talk about your experience.
Thank
And
you.
any last greetings from you, sister?
Yes, sister. For anyone who wants to do a marathon, don't be discouraged. Don't be scared. Anyone can do it. I've seen so many 70-year-olds, 80-year-olds who were speed walking and they still beat me at the race. So anyone can do the marathon. And for the greetings, I just also want to greet my family from Canada, my parents, my mom and dad, my sister, and my brother who's so far away from the Philippines. I just want to greet them all, just because they are my biggest support in life. My husband isn't here with me. He's taking care of my son. So my greetings to him as well, and my son. And thank you again for having me, Sister Geraldine. I really enjoyed having this conversation and discussion with you.
All right. Thank you so much, sister. So before we go ahead and end this show, I would like to just read some greetings like really quickly. So we would like to greet our brother Arman Kigingin, who is also greeting us in the live chat. Sister Hazel B, hello, hello. Greetings from Calgary, Canada. Hello to my long distance friends, Sister Thea and Brother Albert. Miss you and hope you're all well. And we would also like to greet Sister Morietta Miller, Sister Lovejoy Yaneza, and also Sister Hazel said, so inspiring, great job, and so nice seeing you healthy and active, sis. And hello po, Sister Flo. And we would also like to greet some of the ministers, Brother Danny J, Brother DJ Angeles, Brother Albert Macalintal, and Brother Jake Cruz, and also from Eleng Generaga. Hello po from local congregation of Anchorage, District of Alaska. And so, okay, so we're running out of time, so I would like to greet our past activities. So yesterday, we had our Christian Youth Summit for the Kadiwa and Binhi. And then future activities, we have our International Pasugo Quiz on June 9, 2024 for the local and GWS level. And on June 23rd will be the district level. And we would like to greet our brother Eduardo V. Manalo, our executive minister, and brother Angelo Iranio Manalo, our CFO coordinator, CEBSI CEO and president. Thank you so much, po, brother Eduardo and brother Angelo, for your love and support for INC Radio. And again, thank you to everyone. Thank you, Sister Thea. And for those who join us on our INC Radio Oregon, again, join us next week and share this program link with your friends and family. And let's subscribe to INC Radio DZEM 954 on YouTube. And next up is INC Radio Alaska.